talking about what today, I can't help, I was thinking about this earlier today, and thinking about, I can't help but to think that God likes bluegrass music just a little bit anyhow. And I think about Joe and Roy and so many more too. Think about Wolf Rogers and Sebring Brown and Pete Owen. There's several of them. I don't want to leave somebody out. They're the ones that I was around a lot and influenced me. And I know everybody's probably got some. But just think about them. They're probably up there together picking a team or two, I'd say. Like I said, I just can't help but think that God likes bluegrass music a little bit. But I was just reflecting a little bit today what Joe and Roy is and all these guys that I just mentioned has meant to me in my life, and we can see it in our music, the influence they had. You see Bobby and Timmy, I'm sure they'll agree they had a big influence in their lives, and you'll see them in their music too. Now I was thinking a little bit today about a story that Wolf Rogers told me, and I just had to share this, talking about some crazy musicians. Musicians are sort of a funny breed of people anyhow. And I remember they was playing Wolf Rogers and Joe and Roy, and they had a couple other members. I'm not sure who the bass player was then, but they was playing at the Knoxville Barn Dance over in Knoxville fairly often. And Wolf was telling me, he said one time they got ready to go and they found themselves the only thing that they had to drive was somebody's car. And I don't know whose car it was, and I don't know what kind of car it was, but they just had a car. So here they had 5 musicians and all their instruments, and they was trying to get in that car. And they got everybody and everything in except this baby right here, or not this one, but the bass fiddle. And so they had to figure out something. So they headed off to Nashville with that bass on the passenger side of the car. The one in the front seat was holding the neck, and the one in the back seat was holding the peg. And they went to Nashville, or to Knoxville and back like that. So they was pretty determined to get there. I just had a big kick out of that story. Determined musicians. But again, it may seem crazy, but let me assure you, and anybody who knows their music knows that how serious their music was and how they could play with the best of them. Matter of fact, I consider it to be part of the best. So we just really appreciate what that they've done, the impact that they had in this part of the country. And the Byers family, I know, has some CDs out front if you'd like to get. It's got Joe and Roy and the Smoky Mountain Cut-Ups, and then some other with Joe Byers and the Lamplighters. And if you don't have any of that stuff, I'd urge you to get it because there's some good songs.